Hey guys, welcome to my book review channel. My name is Matt Balducci, and the book we're gonna cover today is High Performance Habits by Brendon Burchard. So if you don't know who Brendon Burchard is, one, Google him right now. He's worth $7 million currently, and he's the #1 high performance coach in the world. He's coached people like Oprah, Usher, top athletes, top businessmen. And one of the reasons is that he actually has studied high performance over the last decade. And when I say study, I'm talking he has basically turned it into a science and figured out 6 things that have created top performers. Now, before I dive into my top 3 takeaways, I want to explain it one more time why I create this portion of my channel. The first one is I want more people to read. I believe reading is power, and I believe that with anybody who can read should be able to basically learn whatever skill they want. So that's #1. #2 is I'm reading 60 books this year, and ultimately what's gonna happen is I'm going to be able to look back at these book reviews and basically get a quick summary of what I learned, and it's a little bit of selfishness there, okay? So I'm excited for you guys to join me here on this journey. If you haven't watched any of my previous book reviews, I've covered, I think, close to 10 or 12 currently. I'm gonna be reading 60 books over the next year, so I'm excited for you guys to check that out. So let's dive into this book. So again, Brendon Burchard, badass, 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 badass. But I was a little skeptical of him because when you look at him, you kind of are like, how the heck is this guy a high performance coach? He doesn't look it. He's got this kind of weird smile about himself. But then I started researching him more and more and watching more of his videos. And honestly, this guy is just freaking on fire. He's just an animal when it comes to this top performance or high performance coaching. And he's kind of become a little bit of an idol / rival for me because I'm also a high performance coach. But again, I really, really enjoyed this book, and I'm actually gonna use a lot of what he taught me in this book for my own business and also in general for some of the people I coach. So my #1 takeaway from the book and my favorite quote of the book was when he wrote, which I have written down right here, which is you should tell and yell your goals from the rooftop. Everybody should know what the heck you're doing, and not only should you be yelling it, they should be unbelievable goals that freak people out. People should, basically when you tell them, they should kind of laugh to a degree because they're so large. And what Brendon talks about in the book, which I loved, was the one-liner, which is that the village idiots are going to come out and they're gonna say stupid stuff to you about your goals. Like, hey, you probably can't do that, man. You don't have enough money. You're not cool enough. You know, you don't have the knowledge. They're gonna basically start putting these stupid seeds in there. And I love the way he called it. The village idiots are going to come out and they're going to try to stop you from hitting your goal. And most people actually allow the village idiots to do that to them, and they break their confidence. But what you're also gonna discover, and what Brendon talks about, which has happened to me, where when you just go all in on a goal and you put a ton of videos, ton of content out there, the village leaders come out and they are ready to help you. And you're gonna start getting resources from all over the place. So for anyone out there that has a massive goal, you need to tell everyone about it. One of my goals is becoming a bodybuilder. And if you watch some of my previous videos, you can see I thinned out in my face. I went from 27% body fat a little less than a year ago, under 9% body fat currently. And the reason is I was talking about becoming a bodybuilder when I was at 27% body fat. And you better believe there were people like, well, how are you gonna do it? You're not strong enough, you're missing your lats, your legs are weak, blah, 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 blah. The key is consistent action over time, which I'm not gonna get into in this, but again, I'm gonna say that quote one more time. Yell your goals from the rooftops. The village idiots are going to try to hold you back. They are village idiots for a reason. And the village leaders will come out to try to help you. And you're gonna discover that more people have resources and people are gonna come and try to lift you up. The right people will. So that's my #1 takeaway from the book. I loved it when I read it. I laughed. I tweeted it. I texted it out. And I think it's just a really cool analogy of what it's like when you're actually going after a large goal. So that's my #1 takeaway. Number 2 takeaways, you have to have clarity on whatever you're doing. So this is actually one of my biggest takeaways from the book, and the reason is that I've started multiple businesses in my life. I currently am running a high-performance coaching company. I run a multi-million-dollar construction company. I think one of the biggest reasons that people fail or don't start in the first place, if you will, a lot of people just don't start what they want. I want to be a singer, right? I want to lose weight. I want to do X. And the reason is they don't have clarity on what they're actually trying to achieve. So for me becoming a bodybuilder, I took that one step further. Now it's very specific. I have the clarity of that is I want to be a bodybuilder. But then I took it one step further and now I track specific metrics. Once you have your clear goal, then you can reverse engineer it down to make it very simple on how to be more successful. So one of the other things I'm trying to accomplish right now is I'm trying to just be all around overall just better and healthier and more productive. And the way I'm doing that is by waking up at 5 a.m. every morning, meditating, taking cold showers, which I don't have a time in this video to talk about, stretching in the morning, reading my goals out loud. I'm doing about 7 different things now from 5 a.m. to 6 a.m. every morning before my son wakes up. I have a 16-month-old. And the reason that I'm doing all that and I'm tracking it every day for 100 days, which is what my high performance habits coaching really is. It's a 100-day program. I run it myself anytime I want to learn something new. But you have to have clarity. So why am I doing all these different things? I just want to be more productive and healthier. Right? So I love that Brendon Burchard talks a lot about find your clarity. So what does that look like if you are trying, I don't know, to lose weight? That means you have to sit down and figure out, one, why are you trying to lose weight, or why are you trying to get in shape, and what is the actual reason? And 2, when you say you're trying to get in shape, what does that really mean? Get clear on it. Does that mean 10 pounds? Does that mean 30 pounds? Does it mean that you look in the mirror and you feel good? Does it mean body weight? Body fat percentage? Does it mean that your jeans, you can wear smaller jeans? Do you look better in a dress? What does it mean? You have to be specific and clear about whatever you're going after. And that's a huge, huge thing that most successful people have, actually probably all of them, is they have clarity on what they're trying to accomplish. And again, if you don't have clarity, you need to take time and sit down and figure out what the heck you're trying to accomplish. So that's number 2. Number 3, and again, this book had tons of nuggets, tons and tons of nuggets, guys. I recommend subscribing below if you want to continue getting these book reviews. Now, what you're going to notice in my book reviews is I just give you kind of a quick summary, right? What you should be doing is buying this book and reading it for yourself. Or better yet, what I do is pop in Audible and listen to it at 1.5 to 2 times the speed, and you're going to get through these books way faster. That's how I'm able to read 1 to 2 books a week, is by doing that. So again, my number 3 takeaway, guys, is in terms of productivity. Everybody probably wants to be more productive. Now, when I say probably, not everybody wants to be more productive. A lot of people like to be, I guess, not as productive. But for me, I want to be way more productive. And when I say productive, I'm talking about where I do something and I get the best bang for my time, right? And a lot of people out there are just wasting their time. They're just doing work. They're working to work, but they're not getting the results they want. And you have to ask yourself why. And here's why, and Brendon hits it on the head, is that you should be spending 60% of your time on the top 5 things in your life that you're going after. 60%. The other 40% can go to anything else, okay? But top 5 things in your life. So for me, the top 5 things, fitness. I absolutely am focused on becoming a bodybuilder just because it's my keystone habit. If you check out the book Power of Habit, it'll explain what I mean by a keystone habit. Number 2 is I am right now focused on my mindfulness, reading, developing, self-development, meditation, stretching, making sure that my brain and my body are 100% ready to rock and roll for this awesome life. Number 3 is I'm growing a high-performance coaching company, which will hit close to $2 million here at the end of the year, which is super exciting. I also run a $2.5 million construction company, and that business is going awesome. but that's number 3. Number 4 is I am right now trying my best to motivate as many people in the world as I can. And it's just something that I had passion for since I was younger. And that's what I really, really put a lot of my time into on my Instagram, on my Facebook, any of my social media, and my YouTube channel. I just put out as much content as possibly can. And then last but not least is my family. I have a baby on the way, which is super exciting. And I have a 16-month-old and a beautiful wife. And I want to basically set myself up to make sure my whole entire family is taken care of. So that's where I put 60% of my energy, right? The other 40% goes to, anything else I want. But realistically, I put about 80% probably toward those 5, and then I put the 20% to other things. And the reason is I'm extremely focused right now. But for the typical person, 60% will get you to your goal. So those are my top 3 takeaways, guys, from this book. Go get the dang book. I'm telling you right now, I just basically covered just the basics in this book. And I'll tell you right now, if you read this, it's going to be life-changing for you. That's why I love these types of books. And to Brendon Burchard, I really appreciate you writing this book. It honestly changed my view on you. And it also freaking gave me just a ton of ammo in terms of how to be better myself, as well as helping my clients and running my businesses and all that good stuff. And I really hope that I get to meet you someday and shake your hand and say thank you for doing all the research. But for everyone else out there, guys, just go pick up the book and subscribe. Put a comment below if you like this book review and you thought it was helpful. Also, if you've read the book, put your number 1 takeaway, please. I look forward to talking to all of you guys later.